So bartenders should know the classics, should know technique, should be able to have a structured bar and run the bar properly. But a mixologist goes a little bit deeper than that. So a mixologist is more of the creative, building on the techniques, building on the classics. So that's a big appeal there. But a bartender, you got to be a bartender first, because the biggest part of running a bar is being hospitable. Okay, so let's talk about craft cocktail bars and why they're different than your typical bar. So I like to say that craft cocktail bars, especially Bounty Bar, this one in particular, it's like a liquid kitchen. And the reason that it's like a liquid kitchen is because it's run like a professional culinary kitchen is run. So everything has its place. There's a term for that called mise en place. It's a French culinary term to live by. Every single ingredient and product has its place to live. So when a chef comes into a workstation or salad station or a grill station, he knows exactly where his tools are and his ingredients, and if they're fresh and if they're fully stocked. Like he could work blindfolded. And that's the same thing for a craft cocktail bar like this, because you're dealing with fresh juices and fresh fruits and tinctures and bitters and things that we like to make in-house. Give you a little idea about how special tinctures and bitters are to the bartender. They're basically best described as the bar's salt and pepper. So when it comes to this craft cocktail style bartending, the freshness of your ingredients is a huge factor. And I always like to say, if something's fresh and super ripe, it's delicious on its own, and I kind of take credit for it. But there's a little more than that. If you have fresh ingredients and you have balanced ingredients, you can combine those to take that great to fantastic. So fresh blueberries, fresh blackberries, fresh mint, fresh juice, all that has a huge play in how delicious your drink is. You know, the texture, the flavor, the aroma, all those things come with the freshness of ingredients. So think of having fresh made pasta from a noni as opposed to having something dried in a box that's been sitting in Publix for a couple weeks. There's a huge difference in flavor and texture, and that's the same for cocktails. So just this raspberry is perfectly ripe. It is our berry fruit season right now. If I just muddle this with a little bit of lemon juice and a little bit of sugar and just a touch of fresh filtered water, you're gonna have the best raspberry lemonade of your life. And that's because this ingredient right here is the ripest it can be, the freshest it can be, and it's the most delicious that it can be. So it's a little piece, but a huge component of what makes something so great. So right now we're gonna do a spicy version of one of our classic cocktails at Bounty. It's a mainsail margarita. So our mainsail margarita is made with Altos silver tequila, which is a beautiful handcrafted silver tequila. And we're going to use that, some sour mix that we make in-house, which is super important, that we don't buy this pre-made. It's fresh lime, fresh lemon, just a touch of orange, a little bit of sugar, and that's what makes it really unique. So a bit of our sour mix, a bit of our beautiful silver tequila here, and some agave, and this is organic agave, which is a really nice touch as well. So since we like to make custom drinks, and that's kind of the name of the game on this style of craft cocktail bartending, I think all the cocktails that we make, even if they're classics, we should take into account our guests. So if our guests like spicy and that's something that appeals to their palate, then we're gonna make it spicy. So our mainsail, we threw a little bit of fresh jalapeno into our cheater tin. The cheater tin is the smaller side of your shaker tin. It's my favorite to use because I'm not a big fan of glass behind the bar, but it makes it a little safer to muddle. So on the top here, muddle away our jalapeno. And when you muddle, muddling is one of my favorite techniques because you're pressing out the oils and flavors of whatever ingredient you decide to muddle. Some things you muddle a lot with more intensity, so like a piece of jalapeno or a piece of fresh strawberry. And then some things you're a little more delicate with, like a piece of mint or basil or sage, where you just want to lightly express the oils. So first off, we're going to take our sour mix, because when mixing drinks, it's always best to mix first with the not expensive ingredients. So sour mix first, we're going to do about an ounce of that into our jigger. This is a Japanese style jigger. This is my favorite to use behind the bar. And then we're going to take about an ounce of our agave. Throw that into the tin as well. So I have fresh jalapeno, organic agave, fresh sour mix, and then the best part, some silver tequila, about 2 ounces. Throw that right into our tin. So the next part here I like to do is throw some ice into our nice tall highball glass, or Collins glass rather. I have all my liquid ingredients, my muddled ingredients, and now it's time to add the ice. Throw that right in. Fill it up. And now a big shake. And the big thing when you're shaking with ice in your tin, I'm listening for the ice. I can actually hear when it starts to break up in the tin. You can hear a change in the sound, and that's how you kind of connect with your cocktail. It's just the same way a chef listens for their bacon crackling in a pan or a steak searing. All those little sounds and smells kind of let you know where you're at. So of course our fresh cocktail over fresh ice. Right to the top. And then one of the best parts of this cocktail is what it gets topped with, which makes it very unique. We'll set it right here. On top, we like to put a house-made liquor meringue, which is a secret recipe that I learned from an old bartending friend of mine. And it gets put right on top. So in this liquor meringue, or liquor foam as we call it, is Bouchant, which is a cognac-based orange liqueur that is super delicious. I can't tell you all the ingredients, but there's some other good stuff in there too, but essentially like a meringue with sugar and citrus and egg white and the liquor base, but everything else is a little bit of a secret. So on top of our hot mainsail margarita, we're going to put some of our beautiful liquor foam. Right on top. And then that's not it, because we also take a fresh piece of lime and hit it with a little bit of white sugar. Place it on top of our liquor foam, right in the corner here. And then the next step after that is using one of my favorite tools, which is the hand torch. And then right on top of that sugar, we're going to brulee it a bit. Brulee meaning burn or burnt. So we'll put this right in front of the guests with that really charred, citrusy, sweet smell. So it's almost like a candied limeade. So you could pick up that lime, take a bite into it, and be like a sip of limeade when you do that. With the liquor foam right on top. Set this right here. And since it's a custom one and super special, we'll add one more ingredient to let you know what the secret ingredient in this mainsail is. And that's a piece of fresh jalapeno. Salud!